Semper Fi, everyone. Welcome to the latest installment of Recon Jack. I'm your host, U.S. Marine veteran and historian Chuck Lynch. On today's episode, I'll discuss Medal of Honor recipient Lieutenant Frank Stanley Reasoner, a short, stocky 29-year-old ex-enlisted Marine. He worked his way through the ranks to become a Mustang officer. Frank Reasoner was a husband and a father, and liked a lot by his fellow Marines for his air of quiet maturity. He was the first United States Marine Corps recipient of the Medal of Honor during the Vietnam War, and was done so posthumously for his heroic actions above and beyond the call of duty on 12 July 1965. Frank Reasoner was born in Spokane, Washington on 16 September 1937 and moved with his parents to Kellogg, Idaho in 1948. He graduated from Kellogg High School in June 1955, later enlisting in the United States Marine Corps 3 months before his 18th birthday. Reasoner completed the 13 weeks of boot camp training at Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego, and was promoted to the rank of Private First Class upon his graduation. He was then stationed at Camp Pendleton, California, to complete 8 weeks of training with the Infantry Training Regiment. PFC Reasoner was designated an airborne radio operator in 1956 upon completing Airman School, Naval Air Technical Training Center, Jacksonville, Florida, and the Communication and Electronics School at San Diego. He was next assigned to Marine Wing Service Group 37, 3rd Marine Aircraft Wing, El Toro, California, and while there was promoted to corporal. Reasoner was then transferred to Naval Academy Preparatory School at U.S. Naval Training Center, Bainbridge, Maryland in 1957, and soon served as a guard at Marine Barracks, Annapolis, Maryland. In January 1958, Reasoner was promoted to sergeant prior to receiving congressional appointment to the U.S. Military Academy, West Point, sponsored by Idaho Republican Senator Henry Dworshak. Successfully completing the Academy's entrance exams in June 1958, Sergeant Reasoner was transferred to the inactive Marine Corps Reserve and enrolled as a cadet. While at the military academy, he lettered in baseball, football, wrestling, and boxing. Reasoner was one of the best boxers the academy had ever seen, accomplishing an unprecedented feat by winning 4 brigade boxing championships in 4 different weight classes. He also had his fights with the academic department, but as usual, he won, even if occasionally by a split decision. Reasoner was also cadet in charge, part of the public information detail, as well as the Spanish, triathlon, golf, handball, ski, and weightlifting clubs. Upon his graduation on 6 June 1962, Reasoner was awarded a Bachelor of Science degree and returned to the Marine Corps as a 2nd lieutenant. Reasoner was promoted to 1st lieutenant in December and completed Officers Basic School at Marine Corps Schools, Quantico, Virginia in January 1963. He then embarked for a 3-year tour of duty with the Fleet Marine Force in the Pacific area, in which he served with their 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion during his entire overseas tour. Assigned initially to 1st Marine Brigade in Hawaii, 1st Lieutenant Reasoner served with Company B, 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion, 4th Marine Regiment, and moved with his organization to Vietnam in April 1965. On 20 June 1965, he was designated Commanding Officer, Company A, 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion, 3rd Marine Division, Reinforced. On 12 July 1965, Reasoner was leading an 18-man patrol from Company A near Dai Loc, approximately 11 miles southwest of Da Nang, when it was attacked by a company-sized Viet Cong force. During this engagement, 1st Lieutenant Reasoner was killed and 3 other Marines were wounded. On 1 August 1970, the USS Reasoner, a U.S. Navy Knox-class frigate, was launched in his honor. The 3rd Reconnaissance Battalion base camp at Hill 327 Da Nang, South Vietnam, was named Camp Reasoner and dedicated to his memory. The hand-lettered sign near the gates of Camp Reasoner read, "First Lieutenant Reasoner sacrificed his life to save one of his wounded Marines. Greater love hath no man." His Medal of Honor citation states, "The President of the United States, in the name of the Congress, takes pride in presenting the Medal of Honor posthumously to First Lieutenant Frank S. Reasoner, United States Marine Corps, for his service as set forth in the following. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty. The reconnaissance patrol led by First Lieutenant Reasoner had deeply penetrated heavily controlled enemy territory when it came under extremely heavy fire from an estimated 50 to 100 Viet Cong insurgents. Accompanying the advance party and the point that consisted of 5 men, he immediately deployed his men for an assault after the Viet Cong and opened fire from numerous concealed positions. Boldly shouting encouragement and virtually isolated from the main body, he organized a base of fire for an assault on the enemy positions. The slashing fury of the Viet Cong machine gun and automatic weapons fire made it impossible for the main body to move forward. Repeatedly exposing himself to the devastating attack he skillfully provided, covering fire, killing at least 2 Viet Cong, and effectively silencing an automatic weapons position in a valiant attempt to effect evacuation of a wounded man. As casualties began to mount, his radio operator was wounded, and First Lieutenant Reasoner immediately moved to his aid and tended his wounds. When the radio operator was hit a second time while attempting to reach a covered position, First Lieutenant Reasoner, courageously running to his aid through the grazing machine gun fire, fell mortally wounded. His indomitable fighting spirit, valiant leadership, and unflinching devotion to the duty provided the inspiration that was to enable the patrol to complete its mission without further casualties. In the face of almost certain death, he gallantly gave his life in the service of his country. His actions upheld the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the U.S. Naval Service. Signed, Richard M. Nixon. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Recon Jack, and perhaps you learned something new. I certainly have only scratched the surface of the Marines' actions during the Vietnam War, so stay tuned for more episodes as I continue to explore the hallowed histories, traditions, and individuals of the United States Marine Corps. Please, as always, feel free to like this video, subscribe to my channel, click that notification bell, and leave a comment in the section below. I certainly enjoy interacting with you folks, as well as seeing the growth of my channel. Also, feel free to tell a friend or family member, and until next time, Semper Fi, and carry on.